For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Monday, the 13th day of April 2026, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are on our roads, and there will be many more on our roads starting today with schools reopening as well. So those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road, because the life you save may just be your own. And while we're talking about the roads, just to remind you that we will have representatives from the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service in the studio with us this morning, talking about Operation Clyro, which is a road safety initiative launched by the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service Traffic and Road Policing Unit. The primary goal of which is to reduce dangerous driving behaviors and to prevent road fatalities. And we will be talking with those representatives after 8 o'clock news this morning. So if you have any questions or comments, I would suggest that you send them to us on our WhatsApp number 925-3261. So, those of you who are listening and who are watching us this morning, I want to say to you, welcome to For the Record. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Connor. You're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Of course, that beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson is back with us, so she's waiting to take your calls. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990, and a WhatsApp number, 925-3261. Of course, those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, whichever is applicable. And to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-out proudly supported by Coca-Cola and the Credit Union. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. From generation to generation, Coca-Cola still a Cayman classic. And the credit union looks forward to serving the Cayman community. Credit union looks forward to serving the Cayman community for the next 50 years and beyond. Those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We do hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we want to wish you a speedy recovery. Big shout out again this morning to our colleague here at Radio Cayman, Mr. Joel Wilson. Huge shout out to him this morning as well. So we're going to look at the birthday shout outs. And on Friday, the last show on Friday, April the 10th, we didn't get an opportunity because of our tight schedule. We didn't get an opportunity to recognize those persons celebrating a birthday on Friday or later on in the week. So we see Chuck Connor celebrated his birthday on Friday, the 10th of April. Happy belated birthday to Chuck Connor. Also, Christopher Hadomi celebrated his birthday on the 10th. Happy belated birthday to you. Also to Mr. Troy McCoy. Happy belated birthday to Mr. Troy McCoy as well. And we will now look at the birthday greetings for today, the 13th of April. Miss Katie O'Neill celebrating a birthday today. Peggy Wilson also celebrating a birthday today. Gary Rich also celebrating a birthday. And not to forget, Mr. Robert Scott celebrating his birthday today as well. So happy birthday to all of those persons. And to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola and the credit union Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. From generation to generation, Coca-Cola, still a Cayman classic. And the credit union. Credit union looks forward to serving the Cayman community for the next 50 years and beyond. Tara Abdul Jabbar celebrating a birthday tomorrow on the 14th of April. And I believe there is something else here that we may want to share as well. Yes. Good morning. April called Jean-Pierre. It is not French. It is a Caribbean name. Jean-Pierre, a woman who lived and worked in the Cayman Islands. Yes, she was a netball coach here in the Cayman Islands, as well. Wonderful individual, the late Jean-Pierre. So if you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other momentous occasion, folks, just share that information with us right here on For the Record, and we will give them a birthday shout out. Meanwhile, let's look at some news that we will share with you. Most of you will appreciate this coming from the Department of Environmental Health, because sometimes some people will confuse the waste, the bulk waste collection that used to take place at the end of the year, November, December. That has now been switched over the past few years to the month of May in advance of the approach of the hurricane season, to ensure that any bulk waste material that could present an issue in the event of a hurricane or high winds, that those issues are addressed. So the Department of Environmental Health is announcing the beginning of its annual bulk waste collection service from the 4th of May, dedicating 1 week to each district. So 1 week to each district, starting on the 4th of May in Grand Cayman, and an entire week for the sister islands. Residents are reminded to prepare, separate, and place their bulk waste on the curbside before the week assigned for collection in their respective areas. These bulky items shall be placed only on the curbside in an area that is easily accessible to DEH collection crews and does not obstruct the roadway or drains. DEH Director Mr. Richard Sims reminded residents that any bulk waste put out in an area other than the curbside or after the announced dates will not be collected and will be considered illegal dumping. He's quoted as saying, "Do not miss your dates, as this massive cleanup exercise will not be extended. This is your opportunity to dispose of any unwanted bulky items. Just remember, we are coming to you. There is no need to place them in other areas rather than outside your homes. There are no designated sites for the replacement of bulk waste," he's also said. The DEH collection team will dedicate efforts to collecting bulk waste in the West Bay area during the first week of the schedule, working Monday to Saturday. The team will later move on to the Georgetown for the second week of the schedule, to Bordentown on the third week, and to Northside and East End on the final week. In the case of the Sister Islands, collection will take place during the week of May 25th to 29th of this year. And they have then presented a detail of the collection schedule that they have put out as well. We're going to go to a commercial break. When I return, I will share those dates with you again. They're, of course, the month of May. Less than 4 weeks away, folks. So we will share additional information with you as soon as we return from this short commercial break. So please stay tuned.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
In 1895, the ship the Prince Frederick wrecked on the south coast of Cayman Brac, carrying the young sailor Samuel Sidney Saunders. Saunders would later choose to remain in the sister islands, eventually marrying into a Caymanian family. Although not highly educated himself, Saunders was instrumental to the education system of the sister islands, having taught in both Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. He would start a private school in Little Cayman, was district constable of the sister islands, and opened a school in State Bay following the 1932 storm. In the 1930s, the school was attended by Captain Charles Cockernell. Ironically, Captain Cockernell's father attended Saunders School in Little Cayman a generation earlier.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Saturday, April 18th, will be the gathering of the future. The gathering of budding scientists, budding botanists, budding engineers, budding medical specialists, marine biologists, systems architects, and much, much more. The Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy's Science Fair will be at the Arc Commander Bay, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. The gathering of the future. Students from over 15 schools across Cayman. Save the date, April 18th. The Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy Science Fair, sponsored by CUC, supported by the Cayman Motor Federation. Sign up today. RotaryScienceFair.ky. The future is sparking.
This April, you could be heading to the 2026 World Cup. Coca-Cola is giving away 4 epic trips for 2, including flights, hotel, transfers, and tickets to see the 2026 World Cup matchups live. Catch world rank number 4, England versus Croatia, and defending World Cup champions Argentina as they take on Austria, courtesy of Coca-Cola. Grab any Coca-Cola product, Coke, Sprite, Fanta, Dasani, Smart Water, scan a QR code or drop your entry in-store. It's that easy. Shop anywhere Coca-Cola is sold. Supermarkets, gas stations, convenience stores, and food trucks. Contest closes April 30th, and winners revealed May 8th on National Have a Coke Day. Coca-Cola, drink it in and live it up at the World Cup.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superheroes shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
When you join the credit union, you're not just a customer. You're a member owner with one equal vote. As we celebrate 50 years, our members continue to share the benefits. Enjoy strong dividends on shares, competitive loan rates, and the lowest lending fees on the market. Plus, we're the only lender returning up to 2% of loan interest to our members every year. For 50 years, we've helped Caymanians save, borrow, and build brighter futures. That's the credit union difference. Visit creditunion.ky to learn more.
Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence.
Hi, I'm Tommy from TCE Paint Shop. Growing up, my favorite programs on Radio Cayman was News Hour, The Request Hour, then followed by the House of Gold with the Kincaids. I remember listening to this with my grandmother on her cistern back in 1976. Happy 50th anniversary, Radio Cayman, my choice for radio in the Cayman Islands.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have about 8 minutes before we go to our 8 o'clock news. We do have a caller. I just need to give a few birthday shout-outs before we go to our caller. So we have belated birthday greetings going out to Miss Elizabeth Pantry, coming from your daughter Candice. Also, happy birthday greetings going out to Angela from your sister Esther, and also to niece Amanda, coming from your aunt Esther as well. And one more thing to our listeners out there, we know that Miss Susan, that beautiful radio voice, is one of your favorite announcers right here on Radio Cayman, and of course Miss Catherine Miller, she is your favorite on the Buzz as well. There is there are an award call or awards called the 2026 Trailblazer Awards, and there's a finalist voting form. You can go on there and you can consider voting for Miss Susan as well as Catherine Miller, Miss Catherine Miller. That is called the 2026 Trailblazer Awards voting form. We'll give you some additional information on that so that you can support your two radio personalities, Radio Cayman personalities as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor.
Good
to hear you. Bright and chirpy as always.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, this morning I wanted to speak about something that an area that I know you're very knowledgeable in, and that's immigration.
Okay.
And I prefer to still call it immigration and immigration matters, because that's what I think it is. I understand the acronym work. However, I still believe that immigration is the better description of what the functions really are. And, you know, I acknowledge and know that our new minister, Miles, who's in charge, he's working very hard to make things right. But in my opinion, there are some inherent, systemic issues that are hampering that progress. And I fully believe that many of the problems that just won't go away are due to some dishonest people right there in the department. I hate to say that, but, you know, I have so many things documented where I've made reports and sort of given a roadmap that would lead to a particular result, but they're sort of never acted on. And I'm sorry to say, but I'm speaking at, people at a very high level in there. And there's a case in point that, without calling any names, and I certainly won't, but this is not hypothetical. This is something that's happening. It's a Jamaican worker who was here. And in my opinion, he got caught up in one of these networks that are going on. They're so prevalent, where you have whole companies or entities just set up to bring people in, and they're not employment agencies. They're under the disguise of, in most cases, janitorial companies. I mean, a quick look at just the sheer number of setups here that are calling themselves janitorial companies or mobile car washes. The sheer, it was a rapid explosion of these companies. And the DCI, I believe, will issue a trade and business permit to anybody. I don't think you have to present a business case. I don't think they look at whether the market is already saturated and whether this is a legit business. But I'm telling you, and I'm not guessing, I am telling you that there are so many quote-unquote janitorial companies that are simply acting as agencies to bring in laborers. And it came about because at some point, immigration had said they were not issuing work permits to construction companies to just bring in common laborers. Obviously, they felt that that could be filled from the local market. So these companies, these people, these rogue people then, who can always seem to find a way around things, came up with the idea of janitorial companies. You get the permit issued for a janitor. When they get here, you hire them out to whoever as construction laborers. And this is not a situation of guessing. If Mr. Jeremy Scott wants to get in touch with me, he can. I have actually written to him and pointed out certain things. But this particular case in point is bothering me because there's an innocent young man who is suffering because he was brought in here on the false disguise. He was young, his first trip out of Jamaica, the first time he traveled. And some agent got a permit for him to come in here as a janitor, but immediately sent him to a construction site where it was later picked up by immigration that a few of them, there were a few people like that, and they brought them in. They literally dragged these people over the coals, charged them, revoked the work permit because it obviously says
And what did they do to the employer?
Nothing. Nothing. The rogue person, the agent, an agency, nothing.
Wow.
And don't tell me that if they can drag you in to talk about it, that they don't know who the people were, who the perpetrators of the wrong was.
Well, the minister did.
Operating.
We're running out of time, but the minister did indicate that they will be looking at the trade and business licenses and working with that entity that actually issues those trade and business licenses to close the gaps that were open as a result of not requiring certain information from them. But caller, we've reached 8 o'clock. We will have guests in the studio until about 8:45 or 9 o'clock. The phone lines will be open again after that. If you do have the time, I would welcome you to call back so that we can discuss this further and, bring some attention to it.
I will, because I want to read this letter and I want to expose and point out what is happening.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. Just before we go to our news, Mr. Conrad Martin celebrated his birthday on the 4th of April as well, so we want to wish him belated birthday greetings. Mr. Conrad Martin, 4th of April. Folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
I'm April Cummings.
I think today is a very historic and exciting day for Cayman.
Her Excellency Governor Jane Owen, as Mrs. Gloria McField Nixon is sworn in as Deputy Governor Designate of the Cayman Islands. She brings almost 3 decades of senior public sector experience to the position and will be the first woman to hold the post. With Radio Cayman's news. An early start for firefighters this morning. They're monitoring the aftermath of a boat fire in the Prospect area where a small vessel has been burned out near the shoreline. Emergency crews were alerted just after 5:30 a.m. to reports of a boat on fire in the waters off Prospect. When they arrived, the craft was already engulfed, sending thick smoke into the air as flames spread along the hull. Crews have since managed to put out the fire, leaving the vessel heavily damaged and partially submerged. No injuries reported, and no details yet on how the incident started in the first place. As we've been reporting here on Radio Cayman, Gloria McField-Nixon is set to make history this July when she becomes the Cayman Islands' first female deputy governor, a milestone that is drawing notice across the region and beyond. Regional media outlets this weekend have been highlighting Mrs. McField-Nixon's nearly 30 years in public service, including 2 decades in senior leadership, as she prepares to succeed longtime deputy governor, the Honorable France Manderson, after his 14-year tenure. Commentators in the wider Caribbean are framing the appointment as part of a broader trend of women moving into top civil service and constitutional roles in UK overseas territories and neighboring states. International coverage also notes that officials in London are expecting to engage closely with Mrs. McField-Nixon during the transition, and that will include visits to key UK government departments and meetings with overseas counterparts in the months ahead. The Department of Environmental Health will roll out its 2026 annual bulk waste collection starting May 4th, giving each district in Grand Cayman a dedicated week and a week for the sister islands. Residents are asked to place bulk waste on the curbside in front of their property before their scheduled week, in spots that are easy for collection crews to reach and that don't obstruct traffic. Department of Environmental Health Director Richard Sims.
Do not miss your dates, as this massive cleanup exercise will not be extended. This is your opportunity to dispose of any unwanted bulky items. Just remember, we are coming to you. There is no need to place them in any other area rather than outside your homes. There are no designated sites for the placement of bulk waste.
West Bay runs May 4th to the 9th, Georgetown May 11th to the 16th, Bodentown May 18th to the 23rd, and then Northside and East End May 25th to the 30th, with collections on Cayman Brac and Little Cayman scheduled for the same week. Details and contact information are available at gov.ky/DEH. You can also call 949-6696. We will post the information on our website at radiocayman.gov.ky, as well as on our social media platforms. The cleanup is being held at this time of year to prepare for hurricane season. That is your local news. I'm April Cummings from Radio Cayman's newsroom. Now to the BBC for stories making headlines around the world.
BBC News with Emily Thomas. Iran has threatened to retaliate against a US blockade of its ports, which is due to start shortly. The Iranian military says it will continue to control the Strait of Hormuz and described Washington's actions as piracy. A joint report by 2 NGOs says the authorities in Iran executed more than 1,600 people last year. This is the highest number since 1989. Pope Leo says he has no fear of the Trump administration and will continue to speak out against war. His comments came after President Trump launched a scathing attack on the pontiff over his outspoken criticism of the Iran war. He's making his first ever papal visit to Algeria. European leaders have welcomed Péter Magyar's landslide victory in Hungary's election, unseating the longtime Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Mr. Orban is a Kremlin ally, but Moscow said it respected Hungary's choice and expected to continue its pragmatic contacts with the new leadership. Officials in northwest Pakistan say gunmen have killed a police officer deployed to protect a polio vaccination team. 4 others were injured in the attack. Indian police have used batons and tear gas to disperse hundreds of factory workers near Delhi who'd been demanding higher wages. A French court has found the cement giant Lafarge guilty of paying millions of dollars in protection money to Islamic State and other jihadist groups in Syria more than a decade ago. 8 former Lafarge employees were also found guilty of financing terrorism. With about half the votes counted in Peru's presidential election, the conservative Keiko Fujimori is just ahead of her right-wing rival Rafael Lopez Aliaga. The Philippines has accused Chinese fishermen of pouring cyanide in waters around the Spratly Islands in the disputed South China Sea.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. is brought to you by The Light Room. Tired of being unwell and struggling to find the energy and vitality to live the life you desire? Come get recharged from the inside out at The Light Room. Our non-invasive, holistic energy enhancement system detoxifies and energizes the body, enabling self-healing and balance. Book online at www.thelightroom.ky or call 938-HEAL, 38 Pasadora Place, GT.
Radio Cayman News.
No big surprise. Most things were more expensive in 2025.
There are currently 17 irregular Cuban migrants in the islands.
The murder trial is in its final stages as the judge began her summation earlier today.
Invasive species is a global problem and it's very impactful, especially in Cayman.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
7 days a week. The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the very latest weather report. Synopsis indicate a chance of showers is low as a high-pressure system continues to dominate the weather pattern. Fresh northeasterly winds, along with moderate to rough seas, are expected across the Cayman area as the high-pressure system strengthens over the eastern United States. A small craft advisory is in effect. Forecast for today calling for mostly fair skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will rise near the mid-80s. Winds will be northeast at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts. Seas moderate to rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet. A small craft advisory will be in effect for today and tonight. Forecast for tonight calling for mostly fair skies with a 20% chance of showers and temperatures falling near the mid to upper 70s. Winds will be northeast at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts. Seas will be moderate to rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet. And small craft should exercise caution over the open waters, especially along the north and east coast. Within the reef and sheltered areas, conditions may be generally less severe than open waters, but operators should continue to exercise discretion as localized choppy conditions may still develop. We're presently at a high tide, and the next low tide will be this afternoon at 12 minutes past 1, with a high tide again tonight at 7:21. The sun will set this evening at 6:41 and will rise tomorrow morning at 9 minutes past 6. And the outlook is calling for fresh to strong northeasterly winds and rough seas through Wednesday. A small craft alert could be in effect. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Let's hear it for your Wildcat cheerleaders.
Aunt Angie, weren't you a cheerleader?
The best in the Western Hemisphere, until I attempted that switch kick double twist roundhouse.
Huh?
Exactly. I must have been in the air for 20 seconds before I fell into that snare drum. I set a world record, though, and thankfully I could trust the CG Medical Portal with my claims. All 37 of them.
The CG Medical Portal. Safe and secure. CG Britcay. Good like that.
Saturday, April 18th, will be the gathering of the future. The gathering of budding scientists, budding botanists, budding engineers, budding medical specialists, marine biologists, systems architects, and much, much more. The Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy Science Fair will be at the Arc Commander Bay 8 a.m. to 12 noon. The gathering of the future. Students from over 15 schools across Cayman. Save the date, April 18th. The Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy Science Fair, sponsored by CUC, supported by the Cayman Motor Federation. Sign up today, rotarysciencefair.ky. The future is sparking.
Boy, I'm so glad I got that funding from the Ministry of Tourism's Visitors Experience Development Grant Program. It has really helped me create an awesome new tourism offering. Wondering if you could do the same? You're in luck. Applications for the VEDG program are now open. Visit www.ourcayman.ky/VEDGP for more information and to apply.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning, let's check in with traffic and see how the traffic is shaping up this morning. If you're coming from the east, expect some delays on Shamrock Road and the Linford Pearson Highway. It's a crawlathon happening on Cool Road heading to Georgetown, but you will get there. Heading east in Cool Road, traffic is moving at a moderate pace. Downtown Georgetown flowing moderately. Owen Roberts Drive, no issues there as traffic is light to moderate, as well as coming from the West Bay four-way stop. Eastern Avenue and Godfrey Nixon Way flowing pretty good in both directions. And in front of the Ritz on the West Bay Road, traffic is steady but flowing heading towards the Georgetown area and heading towards the West Bay area. Traffic is moving at a moderate pace. Coming off of the Astley Tibbetts Highway, traffic steady but flowing and continuing on to North Sound Road, Industrial Park area, moving at a moderate pace. Now, if you see any accidents or incidents, let us know by calling us at 949-6990. Coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, steady traffic and continuing on to Huldah Avenue. And as we look to, I think we covered everything. And join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Remember, click it or ticket.
Craving something new? Dive into Subway's new seafood subs. 3 recipes inspired by the flavors of the coast, including the crunchy seafood bliss, the scrumptious chipotle tuna crunch, and the delicious breaded fish and ranch sub, made with our new breaded fish nuggets. Subway's new seafood subs. 3 recipes made to rock the boat. Only at Subway.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Did you know the MMR vaccine protects children against measles, mumps, and rubella, 3 highly contagious viral diseases? Measles can cause serious complications such as pneumonia and brain inflammation. Under the updated national immunization schedule, the first dose of MMR vaccine will now be given at 12 months instead of 15 months, providing earlier protection for children. Vaccination trains the immune system to fight infections, keeping family and communities healthy. Ask your healthcare provider about the updated schedule today. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health, Environment and Sustainability and the Public Health Department.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today and get active with Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of the Lord.
Radio Cayman, this is how we wake you up in the morning. Praise time on Radio Cayman.
Sing your praise to the Lord. Come on, everybody, stand up and sing one more. Hallelujah, give your praise to the Lord. We are united in Jesus Christ. We are the soldiers of the land.
Praise time.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
There's a meeting up in heaven. Roll call. He's a name in the Lamb's Book of Life. Roll call, brother, sister. Roll call. If you don't stop shouting, if you don't stop dancing, we're going to put you out of our church.
Praise time.
Jesus in the morning, yeah.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
Your song flowed through my lips. Your work moved through my hands. Your thoughts stay on my mind. Live in me.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture and Heritage advises that construction at Captain George Dixon Park will begin today, Monday, April 13th. Access to the park will be restricted with limited entry along the western boundary. Well drilling from today, Monday, until Wednesday will cause noise and temporary disturbances. The ministry thanks the public for your patience.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. As promised, we have representatives from the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service in the studio with us. They will be talking about Operation Clyro, which is a road safety initiative launched by the RCIPS, Traffic and Road Policing Unit. The primary goal of the operation is to reduce dangerous driving behaviors, and prevent road fatalities. Specific areas will included targeting speeding and distracting driving, discouraging poor driving habits through increased enforcement, and encouraging cooperation between motorists and police to ensure safer roads for all. Illegal tint has been an offense that is frequently observed and prosecuted as well. So maybe during Operation Clyro, maybe you had some contact with the members of the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. It may have been a pleasant one, or may have been unpleasant to the extent that it may have hit you where it hurts most, which would be in the pocketbooks. If you have had an encounter, you may want to share that information with us, or if you have any questions or comments in relation to Operation Clyro, please send that information to us on our WhatsApp number, 925-3261. Meanwhile, it is my pleasure to welcome into the studio with us this morning PC Watts and PC Dawkins, and I'm going to ask each of the gentlemen to introduce themselves to our listening and viewing audience here at Radio Cayman. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you for having us. It's good to be here, where we can speak about the recently concluded operation. I am Police Constable 357 at Thelston Watts, and I am currently attached to the Traffic and Roads Policing Unit.
And good morning to our listeners. I am PC 314 Shamar Dawkins, currently attached to Traffic and Road Policing Unit.
Okay, so we're going to start with the timelines and the location of Operation Clyro. Tell us when it started, when is the end date, and what transpires after that.
Well, the operation started on the 27th of March, Friday, March 27th, and it was concluded yesterday. Now, in terms of conclusion, Operation Clyro in itself, which is all those objectives which you spoke about earlier, has concluded. Doesn't mean that our duty as police officers from the Traffic and Roads Police Unit and the General Policing District concludes. We are still out there, and we will still be carrying out our regular prosecution. But in terms of the operation itself, which is a quarterly operation, it concluded yesterday.
Mm-hmm. And the scope of it, how wide was the net cast?
The operation was island-wide. Mm-hmm. We focused primarily, not just primarily, we focused on offenders throughout the entire island. Even in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, we don't have as much offenses down there, or detected offenses, so to speak. So we were especially focusing a lot on speeding, and we concentrated heavily on the Estella Tibbetts Highway, different locations. We were on Linford Pearson Highway. We were also on Hurley Merrin Boulevard, as well as Rex Cranton Boulevard. We went up into the Northside District and also in East End. And of course, we also paid special attention to those offenders who commit offense in the West Bay District as well. So we were spread evenly across the island.
I actually happened to see some persons being stopped, and I believe some of those vehicles may have been unmarked vehicles as well that you were utilizing.
Yes, that is correct. So unmarked units, motorcycles, marked units, and where necessary, the other units were used. So we use as much resources as possible to achieve the objectives.
Okay, can we talk about some of the advisories that were issued in relation to Operation Clyro as well?
Yeah, relative to the advisor. So we told persons, and they knew it was out there, that they should expect a lot of disruption as it relates to the operation itself, where the targeted operations were being conducted. And so persons were advised that if they are going to go out on the roads, first of all, and this is in general, is to ensure that their vehicles are current and up to date. Current meaning that their registration is valid, their insurance is valid, and the certificate of roadworthiness, which is a fitness or the inspection, is also valid. We also told persons to ensure that the illegal tints means below the legal limit, which is for the Cayman Islands, and we'll speak about that a little bit later on, I'm sure. And we also told persons that if they were going to go out and to consume alcohol, to drink, is to ensure that they have a designated driver, or they should grab a taxi, or, you know, as was also encouraged, to use the download and ride share app, which is one of those that exists in the Cayman Islands.
Mm-hmm. And we see during the holiday period, like for instance Christmas and New Year, those initiatives that some civic organizations, in conjunction with the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, introduce, you know, for safe driving, providing transport and things of that nature. Is that something that could be utilized during, let's say, Easter and all other holiday, especially long holiday weekends as well?
Yes. So, for example, in December, coming up into New Year, they have the Purple Ribbon Bus, which is, I believe, a beautiful initiative, and it does deter persons from drinking and driving. I know persons use that resource once it is available. If that is something that could be implemented across the whole year, I believe we'll definitely see the impacts of that service, reducing the number of road fatalities, reducing accidents, anything along those lines. I believe it will be beneficial to the general public.
Okay.
So just to reiterate, there isn't a service, because I know that the Purple Ribbon Bus is something that's free, and you know it came from various sponsors, but there isn't such an initiative that runs throughout the whole island all year long.
Okay. One of our listeners are curious to know how do we come up with some of the names for these, you know, various operations, like for instance, Clyro.
Yeah, that's a question that has always been asked. And we had Hummingbird, which was earlier in the year, focusing on those illegal dirt bikes on Sundays. But the names, they come from our Intel department. So the information is put forward, the operation order is created, and it is then sent up to the bosses, and then through the Intel department, they come up with that specific name. I couldn't tell you exactly what it means.
Okay.
Just like Operation Winter Garden.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That one is one that is run in the later months of the year.
Yeah.
So it has the name Winter Garden.
Yeah. And you see in other jurisdictions, in the militaries and stuff like that, they use these things as well. I would imagine that only recently that we see the name of an operation and the actual operation being so closely associated, especially with the U.S. They're a little bit more bold with, what they say as well. So we're going to talk about some of the results that you have at the end of the operation. Number of tickets issued, the various offenses that you noticed, and some areas of concern as well. I know, for instance, my area of concern, I am extremely nervous when I'm a passenger in any vehicle where the driver loves to tailgate, does not keep a safe distance that is commensurate with the speed that they are moving at and the speed that the driver in front of them are moving at. Some people believe that because the speed limit says 40 miles an hour, that they must drive at 40 miles an hour. You know, you wonder sometimes about the reasoning behind it. So my huge concern is tailgating and then just simply sweeping across two or three lanes, in one full swoop, to get into another lane. But let's talk about the number of tickets issued.
Okay. So over the operation period, there is a grand total of 1,045 incidents being recorded. Not all were traffic tickets. There were some that involved arrests. So I'll start with the highest number that I have here. So 550 speeding tickets were issued, a total of 236. Tint tickets were issued, a total of 157 registration tickets were issued, and the numbers began to boil down. So there were 15 persons issued for using their mobile phone. There were 4 persons issued tickets for not wearing seatbelts. There were 5 persons arrested for not having a driver's license, 2 persons charged for driving without insurance, 1 person charged for driving with an expired driver's license. A total of 4 persons were arrested in relation to driving under the influence of alcohol. 8 persons were charged with defective lights. 3 persons were charged for driving at night without having their headlights illuminated. 1 person was charged for failing to provide a specimen relative to DUI. 2 persons were charged with failing to make sure a child under the age of 14 years were wearing a seatbelt. 2 persons were charged with failing to comply with signals or directions given by a constable. 1 person was issued a ticket for parking or loading a vehicle where there's a yellow line on the side of the road. 2 persons were also issued tickets for parking so as to deny other road users passage along a road. 4 persons were charged with parking so as to obscure the view of others or road signs. 2 persons were charged with using a light of a color on a vehicle other than what is required by law. And 7 persons were stopped and no tickets were issued.
Okay. Ms. Susan, you want to take the commercial break first and then the caller after? Or okay, we do have a caller. We're going to take that caller as soon as we return from the commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Spring forward and save 20% on GE appliances. All throughout the month of April, enjoy 20% savings on GE appliances across a wide range of categories. Washers and dryers, refrigerators, cooking, dishwares, and wine and beverage coolers. Have you been thinking about replacing or upgrading your appliances? Now is the perfect time to shop and save. Take advantage of the GE Appliances Spring Forward sale happening now at Brandosaurus Home Gallery. Enjoy 20% off America's #1 most reliable appliance brand. But don't wait! Offer ends April 30. Visit Brandosaurus at 209 Dorsey Drive Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Hello, this is Roy Tatum, your Member of Parliament for Red Bay. I'm inviting you to round 2 of our listening tour on Thursday, April 16th at Seafarers Hall on Victory Avenue from 7 to 9 p.m. Come out and speak directly with me, as well as Joey Hugh, Kenneth Bryan, Roy McTaggart, and Perlina McGaw-Lumsden about the issues affecting Red Bay and the everyday challenges of living in Cayman today. Your voice matters, and we want to hear from you. So join us Thursday, April 16th from 7 to 9 p.m. at Seafarers Hall. See you there.
Hi, this is Michael Webster, longtime supporter and sponsor of Radio Cayman. I'd like to say a big happy 50th anniversary to Radio Cayman. I remember 30 plus years ago listening to my grandfather Roy Bodden playing country music and bluegrass music on Radio Cayman. Happy 50th anniversary.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, we have PC Watts and PC Dawkins from the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. We're talking about the recently concluded Operation Clyro, which was a road safety initiative launched by the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service Traffic and Road Policing Unit. The primary purpose or primary goal to reduce dangerous driving behaviors and to prevent road fatalities. We do have a caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Do you have a question or comments for our guests?
I sure do, Oseen. Good morning to you.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
And good morning to your guests. My questions are to your guests there, the two officers. Good morning, gentlemen, for the job you're doing. I really appreciate it, but, you know, there's a lot more that can be done. I drive the roads a lot, and you know, it's for a person to be driving on the road and see that people are not following the laws and doing what they're supposed to do. It's very disturbing because you can almost expect an accident at any time. And my point is when are you all going to address the people that are not using their indicators and people that are parking their vehicles heading the wrong side of the road? I mean, that is totally against the law, and it should not be allowed. So I would like for those two things to be addressed. And, you know, this indicator business is very, very serious because by people not using their indicators, you don't know what they're doing, what their intentions are. And some people wait until they're ready. Their vehicle is already turned to go where they're going in to an entrance, and then they put the indicator on. That is not accepted because, like the statement that the point was made just now, NOC made with people driving right up on the backside of everybody else. That is totally unaccepted, and that should seriously be addressed also. And this is why the indicator issue needs to be addressed. Thank you very much. I'll hang up and listen to your response. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. Gentlemen.
Yeah. Good morning, caller. Excellent points that you have raised. It is one of those, the indicator is one of those sore points that we are currently experiencing and have been experiencing for a long time here in the Cayman Islands. A lot of persons, it appears that they are not aware that it is actually an offense to not indicate their intended maneuver. The law does state that a person who fails to indicate their intended maneuver can and should be prosecuted and the ticket be given a ticket in the maximum fine of $100. So it is an offense, and we have always encouraged and honestly, I think it's maybe one of those offenses that enough prosecution is not done, but it is something that I know that I've spoken about. It is one of those, for those who have seen the series that is currently on our pages, our Instagram, Facebook pages, the Right of Way series. It's one of those videos that are coming where persons are encouraged to always indicate their maneuvers, and not just when they're traveling on the straight road, but even using the roundabouts where persons have to be, persons should be indicating. So we hear you. And it is something that I am sure that we are going to listen to, because that's what we do. We listen to members of the public who have these concerns, and we will effectively carry out those prosecutions once persons are not complying. We are going to be asking persons to use their indicators to indicate their turns. As it relates to persons who are parking on the side of the road, I can tell you from the Traffic and Roads Policing Unit, our Inspector Tahal, We had a conversation just this week. There was a vehicle, I'll use this example. There was a vehicle that was parked right at the bus stop just on the outside of the Hurley supermarket. And it was sitting there for a while. And so we found out who the driver was. The vehicle then moved and went up towards the Red Bay Primary School. And we found out who the driver was. We towed that vehicle. The police caused the vehicle to be towed. The vehicle is now sitting in the police compound. And the driver of that vehicle will get that vehicle back once the towing fee has been paid. So it is something that we are actively working on, where we can get those vehicles off the roadway as soon as they leave them there. And then the persons will have to pay to have that vehicle back in their possession before it is released to them. So we are hearing you, we are listening, and we will act accordingly.
Great, excellent, excellent. We have 2 callers. We're going to ask each caller to be brief because we want to try to cover as many questions as well as the points that the officers have to raise as well. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
And good morning to the officers there.
Morning.
Morning.
Yes, officers, I don't drive a car, but everything out there impacts me riding a bicycle as well. Officers, we need police on the road. I don't know if you guys ever noticed the impact of one police car on that road in the morning early, how that controls the traffic out there. I don't know if you noticed it.
Yes, we do.
We have tried everything. And we have talked everything over the years. We don't put nobody in Northwell prison for it, bad driving, all those things. Maybe might want to consider that sometime. Have a nice day. Bye.
Yes, sir. Just to jump on the point for the call. So the traffic department, we are small department, relatively small, and different from what persons will normally see with the uniform shift is at the traffic department. We're all single crewed, so we try to spread out as much as possible. So we do sympathize, that the public will want to see more persons. It's something that the traffic department as well will also like more officers. But we try to show our presence as much as possible, and it's quite effective when a police vehicle is seen, especially with those blue lights on at the top, going through different streets. It does reassure the public. And in respect to persons going to prison for traffic offenses, is something that does happen. But that doesn't solely rest on the police. It also rests with our judicial system.
Precisely. Yep. Okay. Another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC.
Good morning. Good morning.
And good morning to you.
Yes, morning.
Especially the one that we never walk alone.
Yes, sir. YNWA.
Yeah, you know it. You know something? I applaud you all for yesterday. I saw something happen by the Interpretation Highway. With these 3 cars, there was a Honda, was a BMW, and I think a Suzuki. And they were trucking because they crossed me, they passed me, and the officer came up quick time and stopped. They got the Honda, but they didn't get the BMW or the Suzuki. But I applaud you all for what you did yesterday. Continue to do what you're doing. And with the signals, we're talking about the signals, it's terrible. It's terrible. And they need to raise not price, but you know what I'm talking about.
Fines.
Raise it because they know when you go get your license, the first you need the indicator, that's what the part of the car and everything. So they know. There's no excuse. So they need to clamp down on them hard. So enjoy the rest of the day and take care. OC, thank you for this morning for
birthday shout out. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Take care.
Enjoy. Yeah. We're going to grab one more caller before we go to a commercial break. And I must say that this interview was scheduled to end at 8:45, but the officers have agreed to stay on for longer as well. We're looking at Mr. Campbell here. This is such an important topic, and we get so many of our listeners who call in or send us WhatsApp messages about, traffic situations, driving situations as well, that we're going to extend this discussion as long as we possibly can. We have no other guest schedule at this point in time, so we will be at the behest of our panelists here, but we're going to try to continue this discussion as long as we can. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And good morning to your panel.
Good morning.
Yeah, we're getting an echo. If you're on the speakerphone, you may want to come off.
Yes, especially my ex-referee buddy, PC Watts.
Yeah, PC Watts, you're very, very popular.
Yes. Anyhow, just want to make 3 points.
Okay.
People changing lanes without indicating. I think it was also mentioned about tailgating. That is a real major problem, because this is what's causing a lot of the fender benders. Mm-hmm. But also I noticed that there's lots of cars. Every day I go on the road, I see it. There are cars that are on the road that only have one license plate, and some doesn't have any license plate at all. However, they're still on the road. And especially noticeable are these Teslas that are here. Most of them do not have the front license plate displayed on the vehicles. So I would love to ask the police to pay special emphasis on these Tesla motor vehicles that are on Cayman roads, and they only have one license plate displayed. Thank you, gentlemen, and you're doing a great job.
Many thanks.
Thank you.
So just to jump on the point with the one license plate being displayed, so there is a offense in the traffic regulation that speaks specifically to license plates being displayed. It is something that is arrestable. It is something that the police do prosecute for, and there has been an amendment to the Traffic Act that speaks in particular to how license plates should be displayed. So the slanted display of license plate both to the front and rear of the vehicle, it is something that you can be issued a traffic ticket for. And there was a traffic operation that was also set aside specifically for these committed offenses with the DVDL staff that was run on the Wednesdays. That was early on in the year once those amendments came into place, as well as for those micro-mobility vehicles, the e-bikes.
Yes.
Also for persons who don't use their indicators whilst turning, this is something that, officers do write tickets for. It might not be the most popular offense that tickets are being written for, but they do get prosecuted. And for persons who are also tailgating, it is an offense to drive directly behind a vehicle without paying any attention to whether that person will be braking. And once it is a case that that person gets into a fender bender, as they call it, that person can be issued a traffic ticket. I know I go to accidents and I write tickets for it, because there is an offense that says that you're failing to drive at such a speed, manner, and distance from any other vehicle, and being involved in an accident. It is an offense under the Traffic Act, so it's something that I do write tickets for.
Okay, with that, we do have a caller on hold on our WhatsApp number. We're going to take a commercial break. We have on the landline as well. Gentlemen, I think you guys are going to be here until talk today, 12:15. No, I'm only kidding. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Spring forward and save 20% on GE appliances. All throughout the month of April, enjoy 20% savings on GE appliances across a wide range of categories. Washers and dryers, refrigerators, cooking, dishwares, and wine and beverage coolers. Have you been thinking about replacing or upgrading your appliances? Now is the perfect time to shop and save. Take advantage of the GE Appliances Spring Forward sale happening now at Brand Source Home Gallery. Enjoy 20% off America's #1 most reliable appliance brand. But don't wait! Offer ends April 30. Visit Brand Source at 209 Dorsey Drive Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
Are you ready to be inspired? Calling all marketers, creatives, and visionaries. Join SIMPA's 12th annual marketing conference, Level Up, Marketing's New Formula, happening April 17th and 18th at Hotel Indigo. Discover the latest trends in marketing innovation, sharpen your skills in hands-on workshops, and connect with global industry leaders who are changing the game. Plus, celebrate the best of Cayman's marketing and creative professionals at the SIMPA Awards Gala, honoring the brightest minds in the field. Don't miss out. Secure your tickets now at simpa.ky.
Brought to you by the Department of Tourism, Airview Media, DART, Health City, Compass Media, Armada Films, Signs of Paradise, Caribbean Creations, the Department of Communications, and Radio Cayman.
Hello, this is Roy Tatum, your Member of Parliament for Red Bay. I'm inviting you to round 2 of our listening tour on Thursday, April 16th at Seafarers Hall on Victory Avenue from 7 to 9 p.m. Come out and speak directly with me, as well as Joey Hugh, Kenneth Bryan, Roy McTaggart, and Perlina McGaw-Lumsden about the issues affecting Red Bay and the everyday challenges of living in Cayman today. Your voice matters, and we want to hear from you. So join us Thursday, April 16th from 7 to 9 p.m. at Seafarers Hall. See you there.
Hi, my name is Sarah Sue, and my most fond memory was listening to Radio Cayman growing up in Cayman Brac. My late grandmother always played Radio Cayman, and to this day I still listen to the station. Happy 50th anniversary, Radio Cayman. Thank you for the memories and for the best music. And thank you for providing music to the Sister Islands from day one.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Unfortunately, our guests can only stay with us until 9 o'clock. They have another commitment. What we are going to do is, if you send in or if you have sent in questions or comments, we will be forwarding those to the RCIPS for them to be aware of the concerns that you or a listening audience may have as well. So we have one caller on WhatsApp. We have one caller on the landline. Those are going to be our last callers because we still have a few points that we want to discuss and we have less than 10 minutes to go. WhatsApp caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Corner, and good morning to your guests in the studio.
Good morning, good morning.
Let me start off by saying thank you so much for coming on the show and your recent operations. You guys have a significant responsibility keeping our roads safe, so I commend you for that, and thank you for coming on and the operations recently. I'm calling on behalf of my constituents of Georgetown Central to highlight once again, after numerous attempts, about the congestion on the corner of Eastern Avenue and Shedden Road that mainly has to do with the public transport licensed buses. And I know that this is something that has been brought to the commissioner's attention, so by no means this is a surprise. But even after my concerns being brought to the floor of Parliament, particularly to that of the Transport Department and the Director Dirk Banks, the responsibility seems to have been falling on the lap of the Transport Department and the Police Department Traffic Unit, because they are saying that they have no legislation power to penalize these bus drivers for their constant breaking of the law. As traffic officers, I'm quite sure you see the blatant breaking of the law every single day on the corner of that stoplight, where buses pull over on the sidewalk and let off passengers, which is an illegal act and creates not only congestion from a traffic perspective and the quality of life of our traffic flow and vehicle access, but also a safety for pedestrians passing by that corner. It's a regular thing, and now that the new location headquarters for the police department is going to be at the old floor building, I hope that you guys will take this as a serious matter, because the transport unit seems to have no ability to control these bus drivers. I don't think we have time today to go into the driving habits of those public drivers, but I'm quite sure you guys are aware that it's a very dangerous way of transportation, particularly when you have passengers to that degree. I am worried that one day we will have a significant accident and many lives could potentially be lost. But that's a negative component. I want to know, have you guys put this on your radar as a matter of concern? Because it not only affects my constituents in the central area, but almost every person from a traffic flow perspective, because Shedden Road is one of the highest trafficked roads on the island. So that's the question.
Thank you. Right. Thank you very much for that. We're going to take their last caller, and then we can combine the answers for all of them as well. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Ozzy.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to your guests.
Morning.
Good morning.
Just a kind of simple question. What's the grade of the tip that is acceptable? And what happens when a car comes in that is with higher grade than that already on the windows?
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Let me quickly address. Let me address Mr. Bryan's question earlier. So, like most, if not every traffic offense is what we call a strict liability offense. Most of these offenses, once they're committed within the view of the police, then the onus is on that person who commits the offense to prove to the court that they did not commit this offense. Persons have, over the years, have sent in videos and are willing to provide statements when they observe offenses committed on the roadways. And that is also accepted as long as you're willing and you're found to be a credible witness to go to court. So if the police officer sees these buses, and we know for a fact, I've seen them, I've prosecuted them, other officers have prosecuted them, and it's not just for traffic, it's for any police officer who see these offenses being committed. We are going to prosecute them. It may not be, again, on a wide scale as Mr. Bryan is talking about, which, I'm aware. But now, as he said, with the police station being removed and is now over there, I know already that the buses that park along Liberty Lane, it's called, they are not allowed to park there anymore where the parking lot is. So that's going to be a change. I don't know where they're going to go, but for a fact, we know that they cannot park on the side of the road unless it's at designated places. There's a reason why the bus stops are set up, places are set up for these buses, and those drivers should comply. So we will be doing the education in itself. I really am not sure why the Transport Authority is saying that they cannot do anything, because I know they have their own legislation as it relates to the law and what they can do in order to get these persons to comply. But we, from our part, we have prosecuted persons and we will continue to do so. As it relates to the tint, the legal tint in the Cayman Islands for For vehicles, the driver's side window and the front passenger window, that vehicle can be tinted down to 35%. And when I said down, the brightest tint is 100%. That's where no tint is applied to a vehicle. So that's the highest resolution in terms of the light that is going to be transmitting through. And any windows behind the driver and the front passenger can be tinted down to 15%, including the rear windshield. The front windshield should not be tinted. It should only be tinted with a strip of tint from the top of the windshield down, only 6 inches, and that can be as dark as persons want, as we would say, as dark as midnight. Now, there are vehicles that are manufactured, that are comes in the island that have manufactured tint. Once we prove that that tint was applied by the manufacturer, we are not going to prosecute you for that, and there's not much that we can do as it relates to that. So, but usually, and in most cases, we don't find vehicles with less than the legal limit for the Cayman Islands. So in any case, there are few exceptions, but once we identify that it is a manufactured glass, it comes that way, then that person will not be prosecuted where that is concerned.
And also to strike a point, if it's a case that the individual has a medical condition and a doctor has given them a signed letter, you do take that letter to the DVDL, and the letter is going to be sent in with an application to the director, and if the director deems it necessary, he'll give a grade of tint to be applied to the vehicle.
Okay. Right. Mr. Connor, I just wanted to touch on 2 things
Sure.
quickly. So earlier, you during the break, you asked about when a person is prosecuted if their vehicle documents are have been expired. A person who uses a vehicle without a certificate of insurance, a valid certificate of insurance, that's an arrestable offense.
Okay.
So if you're stopped for driving a vehicle and your insurance expired, you are going to be arrested.
Okay.
And I'll say that you are going to be arrested. We have been instructed that that driver who commits that offense should be arrested.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
No ifs, ands, or buts. Its insurance is very, very serious, right? Now, once the driver of that vehicle has been arrested, then obviously he cannot drive that vehicle. That vehicle is then moved safely. We do have the powers in terms of driving. Our insurance will cover us driving that vehicle to a safe place. Either we take it to a location at their request, or we will take it to the police station until they can sort that out. As it relates to the registration and the certificate of roadworthiness, the fitness, the inspection is also an arrestable offense. In most cases, we will just want persons for prosecution for that offense. However, under those circumstances where those offenses have been committed, the person can then be allowed to drive the vehicle to their home as long as it has insurance. So again, let's make it clear, we're not talking about insurance. Without insurance, the vehicle cannot be driven on the road. But with insurance, if the vehicle document is expired, you can drive to your home, you can drive to a garage, or you can drive the vehicle to the Department of Vehicle and Driver's License to have the vehicle documents renewed. We will allow you to do that. That's not us we allowing. That's what the law says. You can drive to those places. So again, insurance arrestable. The vehicle cannot be driven on the road, but the other documentary offenses, we can allow you to drive the vehicle to those 3 places. And last point I want to touch on, registration plates. PC Dawkins spoke about that. The law was amended in 2025, and it simply states that registration plates for vehicles must be affixed to the front and to the rear of the vehicle. Must. It never says you can affix it. It says the plates must be affixed to the front and the rear. So I really don't care, to be honest, if it's a Tesla or it's a Buick.
Right.
You must comply with the law. And that means get some Velcro tape and put the plate on the front of the vehicle. The law goes on to state exactly how it should be mounted to the vehicle. It says that it should not be obscured, it should not be defaced, it should not be otherwise illegible. It must be horizontal, and the wordings are perpendicular. That means it must stand up straight where I can see and read the plate from a distance. And in any event, and if a person fails to mount the vehicle to the front and to the rear of the vehicle, then it's an arrestable offense. It is also now a ticketable offense, but I would say for persons who keeps committing the same offenses over and over, that they should be arrested and sent to the court where those offenses are concerned. Sitting in the windshield is a thing of the past.
Yes.
It must be mounted on that place of the vehicle as per law where it is designated to do so.
Okay, we had an earlier question in relation to modified vehicles as well. So
yes, that's what I wanted to touch on. In respect to vehicles being modified in a sense is not illegal once it is in the confines of the insurance policy. However, there was a part of the message that plays key importance where it says annoyance. If it's the case that it then becomes an annoyance to the police in terms of the vehicle being too loud, if the vehicle doesn't have a silencer, it is something that they could be ticketed for. And there's other laws that could be touched on, such as the Towns and Communities Law in respect to the noise that the vehicle is causing. So I would recommend that the person that sent in that message, I would recommend that they do make contact with the traffic department and see how best we could assess them with having this concern addressed.
Okay, gentlemen, a little bit over time, but I still want to give you an opportunity for some closing comments as well.
Yes, my closing comment would be to the general public, exercise defensive driving, driving with caution, not just for yourself, but to anyone in the general public. Public safety is of paramount concern to the traffic department, and our main objective is to ensure that the traffic law is being followed, that there's no road fatalities, so reaching to that breaking point and reducing the number of collisions and victims being impacted negatively.
My final comment, I'll leave with some stats that PC Dawkins spoke about earlier. Just a reminder that yesterday alone, Sunday, we wrote 90 speeding tickets.
Wow.
90. We have seen persons exceeding the speed limit going up to, we had one person Saturday night at 92 miles an hour in a 40 mile zone.
That's crazy.
We had one gentleman on West Bay Road, which is a 25 mile zone, going at 70.
Court.
That is way too much for any stretch of the Cayman Islands. And 166 tickets in a 3-day period, speeding tickets alone in a 3-day period is too much. I would like to, and I've said this before on your show, I would like to go out there and go back with my book still untouched. Unfortunately, there are too many persons who refuse to comply with the traffic law.
Sure.
And as a result, once we catch them, we are going to prosecute them. And as you said earlier, where it hurts most is from their pocket.
Yes.
So they have to think about it. It's $20 for every mile when you're stopped by me or any one of my colleagues from the traffic office. So if you're traveling 15 miles over this limit in a 40-mile zone, that's a $300 ticket. That to me is a lot of money. So drive safely, slow down on the roads, stop being distracted, as in, pay attention to the road, focus on where you're going, keep your eyes on the road, look through the windshield, the front windshield when you're driving forward, and look through your mirrors and the rear windshield when you're reversing. And that way we will continue to reduce the number of road fatalities and collisions across the island.
Certainly. Yes. And I want to thank...
my apologies. I just want to reassure your callers as well as your listeners the concerns that were raised and the concerns that will be raised and passed over to our media team. Just want to reassure everyone that they will be addressed, and for things that we are addressing, that they will continue to be addressed, because we're here to serve the public. That's something that the police is here for.
Certainly. And thank you, for all of your efforts and all of the things that you do, even with the sometimes limited resources that you have as well, and the high expectations that the public have of you as well. Folks, we've gone past headline news. I'll get in trouble for that, but hopefully I'll get on the good side of management sometime later on. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after headline news.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
I'm April Cummings with your headlines. The Cayman Islands women's national team suffers a record 21-0 defeat away to Costa Rica in the CONCACAF W qualifiers. Costa Rica led 9-0 at halftime and then went on to equal the biggest winning margin in the tournament's history. Cayman have now lost 4 straight in qualifying and will close out Group C against Grenada on April 14th. The U.S. military is moving ahead with plans to blockade all Iranian ports starting today, escalating a standoff over the closure of the Strait of Hormuz and raising fears for the global economy. Iran is threatening ports across the Persian Gulf and Gulf of Oman as talks to permanently end the conflict collapsed without an agreement. Oil prices surged over supply concerns. In Germany, the world's oldest gorilla living in captivity is marking a milestone birthday at the Berlin Zoo. Fatu, a western lowland gorilla believed to be about 69 years old, celebrated with a special feast of vegetables instead of cake as keepers focus on a healthy diet for the aging primate. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
At HSA, we strive to provide the highest standard of care with compassion, integrity, and dedication. And so we say thank you, Cayman, for continuing to make us the most awarded organization on island by voting us the best of Cayman Islands in 9 medical categories. Your support reminds us why we do what we do, to serve the Cayman community with kindness and excellence. To find out more about our award-winning services, visit hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. Phone lines are open. One of our listeners has written and said that Mr. Bryan should also be advocating for pedestrian crossings in the area of I think it's called Technology Park. They say that instead of fighting bus stops, we don't all have big, flashy vehicles. So I'm sure if Minister Bryan is listening, he will take that point on board as well in relation to crosswalks, in proper crosswalks in that area. Here we have one person who's commented, for the record, we have been experiencing an ongoing speeding issue in the 25-mile-per-hour zone of Bordentown area, specifically between 5 and 7 a.m., especially on weekdays, which needs to be addressed. It's becoming a racetrack to catch the traffic, and there's never an officer present to prosecute these people. Cars are actually speeding over 40 and 50 miles an hour on that 25-mile-per-hour zone, and it's totally ridiculous. We're going to wait until more lives are lost because of it, or will something be done about it? We have pedestrians and cyclists as well as kids going to school during those hours. I will pass that on to the Communications Department of the RCIPS as well. And again, we all agree that police officers can't be everywhere, on our roads. Simply impossible. And we hope that the technology that will help them in terms of speed cameras and things of that nature will soon be available to allow them to be much more efficient in their jobs as well. This person says, good morning, OC and your guests. One thing I've encountered is when I'm going over speed bumps, the car behind me is most times right on the bumper. So true, yep. They don't wait for me to be over the speed bump before they come right over behind me. This really is not good, and it grieves me. Thank you. Also, I've seen actual cars, and the explanation for it, some vehicles going over those speed bumps instead of them going over perpendicularly, straight across, some of them go at an angle, and I'm told the reason for that is because the vehicles are so low to the ground that they will actually be unable to go over the speed bump if they go over it vertically. So they have to sort of go sideways over it. How crazy can things get? Well, folks, we hear about taxi drivers. Some people complain about them. Some people applaud them. Why don't we share a good story, a happy story this morning as well? We do have a caller. We're going to take that caller as soon as we return from the commercial break. But I'll take this opportunity to share this article from the Compass. Good Samaritan bus driver saves holiday from becoming a disaster. And it talks about that when a tourist from California left a bag containing her valuables in the back of a public bus during a recent stay, it could have ruined their Caribbean holiday. Thanks to the swift actions of bus drivers and helpful passers-by, however, it turned into a great example of kindness, of the kindness of strangers. Paulette Goldstein and her husband had taken the bus from 7 Mile Beach to Georgetown for a shopping trip, but to her horror, Goldstein later discovered that she had left her fanny pack bag containing her driver's license, cash, and credit cards on her seat. Flagged down buses. The couple walked back to the bus terminal and flagged down every bus they could see, but no one had seen the missing item. A passing British resident couple stopped to help for 2 hours in the Cayman sunshine, helping to ask bus drivers and walking with the couples to the police station to report the loss. Eventually, said Goldstein, my husband and I were exhausted and had given up hope of ever finding my lost item. We decided to go back to the hotel, and a very nice British couple drove us. I was disheartened, thinking I'd never see my fanny pack and its contents again. Thankfully, the story has a happy ending. After the couple returned to their hotel from a consolation lunch, they were told that a bus driver had delivered the bag contents intact. It was like a minor miracle, said Goldstein. The bus drivers were all so helpful and kind, and I was so happy to get my bag back. I hugged it. I'm so thankful to all of the people who help. While Goldstein never got the chance to thank the driver personally, she said that she wanted to thank him for taking the time to deliver the bag. I just thought that was above and beyond the call of duty, which was very nice, she said. Investigations by Compass TV revealed that the elusive bag was returned by bus driver Nigel Hudson, who has driven a public bus in Cayman since 2004. It's a daily thing for the bus drivers, he said, adding that it was a great feeling to be able to return lost property to its rightful owner. And he's quoted as saying, sometimes people look down on bus drivers, but there are still honest bus drivers out there, he said. I grew up driving, so it's my pleasure to serve the community. Added Hudson, a lot of times we go out of our way to help people get back their stuff. We've formed a team so that when we find stuff, we keep it safe until it is returned. Kudos to Mr. Hudson. Kudos to all of the bus drivers. And I'm sure that there are more positive stories emanating from the actions of bus drivers, but unfortunately, sometimes we only hear the bad things. We do have a caller. Like I said, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation will continue, so please stay tuned.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Spring forward and save 20% on GE appliances. All throughout the month of April, enjoy 20% savings on GE appliances across a wide range of categories. Washers and dryers, refrigerators, cooking, dishwares, and wine and beverage coolers. Have you been thinking about replacing or upgrading your appliances? Now is the perfect time to shop and save. Take advantage of the GE Appliances Spring Forward sale happening now at Brand Source Home Gallery. Enjoy 20% off America's #1 most reliable appliance brand. But don't wait! Offer ends April 30. Visit Brand Source at 209 Dorsey Drive Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
Hello, this is Roy Tatum, your Member of Parliament for Red Bay. I'm inviting you to round 2 of our listening tour on Thursday, April 16th at Seafarers Hall on Victory Avenue from 7 to 9 p.m. Come out and speak directly with me, as well as Joey Hugh, Kenneth Bryan, Roy McTaggart, and Perlina McGaw-Lumsden about the issues affecting Red Bay and the everyday challenges of living in Cayman today. Your voice matters, and we want to hear from you. So join us Thursday, April 16th from 7 to 9 p.m. at Seafarers Hall. See you there.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture and Heritage advises that construction at Captain George Dixon Park will begin today, Monday, April 13th. Access to the park will be restricted with limited entry along the western boundary. Well drilling from today, Monday, until Wednesday will cause some noise and temporary disturbances. The ministry thanks the public for your patience and understanding.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Hey, this is Matthew Leslie, and I want to wish Radio Cayman the happiest of anniversaries. 50 years. What a milestone. Oh, so much memories of Radio Cayman, but one of my favorite was growing up with my great-grandmother in her house on the weekends and listening to the country countdown. That was one of those memories that always stays with me as a child, and it was made possible by Radio Cayman, keeping it on the airwaves. Thank you so much, and happy anniversary.
The Ring of Fire.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're going to our WhatsApp caller who has been holding on for quite a while. Caller, good morning. Landline, sorry. Good morning, caller. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning again, Mr. Connor. Kenneth Bryan here.
Yes, sir.
Me to call back in. I did listen to the comment sent in, and I want to thank the author of that saying about the pedestrian crossing. And yes, I have requested for pedestrian crossings to be there. So NRA, hopefully, as we get control of that corner some pedestrian crossings can be put in, but there are some restrictions on how close a pedestrian crossing can be placed next to a stoplight. So there's some limitations there, but hopefully as things change, we can improve the traffic flow and safety at that corner. But Mr. Corner, I'm glad that you, before we went to the break, read out that amazing story that we just heard about the bus driver, because the public is right to feel, or the bus drivers have a right to feel, that there's a lot of negativity. People don't get up and jump up and say all the great stories. But I'm compelled in my job to address the problems while congratulating them for the great work they do. They're great ambassadors for the Cayman product and for those who act appropriately. But I am obligated to highlight the significant concerns that I have. And every one of us in the public are fully aware of the cultural behavior that we see have developed over the last couple of decades with our public transportation offerings. It is very serious. I am genuinely worried. And I recall in opposition, the very first time in my first administration, 2017 to 2021, I went to a conference for the National Roads Authority that had it at the Westin, and they had international advisors here about road safety. And one of the number one things they brought up was this ad hoc bus stopping process that we have implemented here, and says it's one of the most riskiest transportation systems they've seen in the world, and it's a common practice within the Caribbean context. And I've been trying to bring this to light to our processes as much as possible. Even when I was a Minister for Transport for 11 months, and even then, obviously, I had hoped to have some changes in the transportation legislation, but was unable to get it completed. But if we don't stop and address this matter now, we're going to have this continued reflection of not the Cayman product, because most Caymanians that I know are not that way. They don't appreciate and accept that way of the cultural driving, which is very aggressive, very unsafe, and just not a way of life. Not only that, what I've found, and forgive me for complaining this morning, but I'm only representing the voice of the people that tell me these things, which is this common culture of ignoring the rules by even the police department. And when you allow things to continue to happen, it's the broken window syndrome. And I again, not here to pick on the police department, but it cannot be seen that you constantly see these infractions and you do nothing about it. And I don't know what else to do other than to bring it to the public's attention that we see these infractions. You know our good friend Rogelio. He sits every time I go there. I barely go to Rogelio's shop now because I don't know how to respond to him and say I can't get it under control. He sits there every single day and watch infractions day in and day out, day in and day out. Like literally every 10 minutes there's another infraction. There's another safety issue. And it's going to happen where somebody's going to get seriously hurt there. And this is not only by that corner, but across the Cayman Islands with the bus drivers. Sadly, and I, again, not here to pick on the bus drivers, but you may be doing a practice that you normally do and you think it's okay, but it's unsafe. You see there's a little island that has been removed right there in front of Elizabethan Square. I've seen bus drivers stop on the corner of the island to let people out. And I go, how can you possibly think that is a safe thing to do?
Yes.
And you get out, you say something, yeah, boss, yes, boss, I'm going to deal with that. And I can see it the very next day. You can drive and park your car, just hide for a couple of minutes, and the next bus driver will do the same thing. So I'm saying that if we don't nip this in the bud now, and not only that, I want to say that it's great that they did this exercise for clamping down on traffic, but it can't be just an exercise. It has to be a day in, day out situation from the traffic department constantly till the culture changes. It can't just be for 2 months. Because just this morning I said to myself, I wish they didn't even say that the operation is over. Because now people are not stupid. You see them in group chats saying, oh, there's an operation going on, police down by the corner, don't do this. So they'll cool down for a little bit, stay off the road, or don't do certain behaviors. And as soon as now they hear that the operation is over, it's back to the bad behavior again. I'm saying that you need to have this as a culture. And if that means the traffic department police traffic department needs more support on a regular basis. Myself and the opposition is willing to support for more funding for them, but we want it every single day, all the time, 365 days a year. So the culture changes. That's the only how we're going to get the road safe. That's the only way we can get cars to stop tailgating racers in the morning. From safety, we have some of the highest safety risk that we had reported of deaths on the road. It's because we're not taking it serious enough. Talking is one thing, enforcement is another. And I am begging, I appreciate those officers who were on this morning because they have a serious responsibility. But as much as I want to be kind to you, I also have to hold you accountable just as much as I'm being held accountable for my constituents. And because I don't have the authority to go out there and arrest people or give people tickets or take the culture. These two entities, the transport department and the traffic department with the police, are the two entities that have to get our roads under control, along with the NRA, to give the bus drivers enough bus stops, because it's kind of unfair to them where the road infrastructure has not constantly put enough bus stops for them to adequately service the people who need stops. So it's not all their fault. But that doesn't mean that I allow you to have a cultural behavior of driving that is unsafe and bound to have some sort of serious accident in the future. So, again, I have to respect and represent Georgetown Central first and foremost. And my people are tired of what happens at the corner of Eastern Avenue and Shedden Road. And I'm glad that the officer said today, if you have video of this behavior happen and you bring it to the police attention, somebody will be charged, because that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So the bus drivers can...
And I think the combination to that, if I may interrupt, combination with that also is the person needs to be prepared to go to court to give evidence.
Well, if I have to do that, then I will do so on behalf of my people, because we want all the people of Central. If there's one number one report that I get in Central, is the corner of Eastern Avenue and Shedden.
Yeah.
I mean, constantly for the last 9 years is the corner of Shedden Road and Eastern Avenue. So if I'm going to have to sit out there with a camera now or get CCTV footage attached to Rogelio's shop and just record constantly and report every incident, every bus driver with their license plate, I'm going to have to do that because they're not listening. And then you go to the various different entities like Transportation Department and the Traffic Unit, and it's like you're calling on deaf ears. I'm just really, really happy that the police headquarters is going there. Maybe they'll take some serious attention to it. That's my rant for today, but I'm doing it on behalf of my people.
Before you go, you mentioned the conversation that took place in relation to the WhatsApp chat groups alerting people when the police are in certain areas, and that was one of the topics that we didn't really get an opportunity to discuss fully. But what people have to also recognize is that the unintentional consequences of that, sometimes the RCIPS may have roadblocks for reasons other than traffic offenses. And if you're out there alerting people in your group to let them know that the police is at such a roundabout at the corner of such, you may also be assisting a criminal from evading arrest as well. So that is why it is really, I get disgusted when I see people putting up messages that the police are located in certain areas. If you are abiding by the law, if you're following the law in terms of the speed that you should drive at and the way that you should drive, you should have absolutely nothing to worry about, meaning there's no reason to warn you.
300%, and I'm just as disappointed in it. And I try not to comment on it because obviously people are trying to protect themselves from any illegal behavior that they're doing. But how does the police cover that? They got to be recognized that you're preventing them from bettering the safety of our roads by doing that. So those who are in the listening ear this morning, be mindful that when you do that, though you may not be able to be caught because this is private conversations and are protected by freedom of information, they have to be mindful that they're not assisting the police with helping keeping our roads safe. So I agree with you wholeheartedly in that respect. Interestingly enough, OC, while I try to close up here, there is transportation bill amendment before Parliament on the 29th of April.
Okay.
And as you heard in the advertising in the break, the People's Progressive Movement is having a listening tour. We are now in prospects at the Seafarers Hall on Thursday. So if concerns about traffic, transportation, and road safetyness is an issue for you, or you want crosswalks or what have you in your area, bring it to our attention, because this is the perfect opportunity to bring up those concerns when this amendment comes up, because it opens up the scope of discussion about transportation in the Cayman context. I want to ask the police officers this morning a different question, which is, have they given input in respect to that amendment to that bill? You see that there's also another set of changes out for public consultation that I believe that the ministry has just released. This is the time to bring up these conversations. I'm here to support the police department and the transport department. And part of that is the critique of what we're not doing. It's a part of my job. I know sometimes people don't like me for it, but it's to better the quality of life for everybody. And I know that a lot of people are unsatisfied with how we're handling our roads. So this is a part of the process. Make your voice be known so we can bring it to the attention, bring it to the minister, bring it to the police department and the transportation department so we can get those changes done. So, OC, I'll leave you there. Thank you so much for the conversation this morning. Very timely and very needed.
Thank you. Thank you very much as well, folks. We're going to take a commercial break. We still have callers on hold. We will take those callers as soon as we return, so please stay tuned.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Are you ready to be inspired? Calling all marketers, creatives, and visionaries. Join SIMPA's 12th annual marketing conference, Level Up, Marketing's New Formula, happening April 17th and 18th at Hotel Indigo. Discover the latest trends in marketing innovation, sharpen your skills in hands-on workshops, and connect with global industry leaders who are changing the game. Plus, celebrate the best of Cayman's marketing and creative professionals at the SIMPA Awards Gala, honoring the brightest minds in the field. Don't miss out. Secure your tickets now at simpa.ky.
Brought to you by the Department of Tourism, Airview Media, DART, Health City, Compass Media, Armada Films, Signs of Paradise, Caribbean Creations, the Department of Communications, and Radio Cayman.
Hi everyone, this is Paulette Connolly. One of my favorite memories of Radio Cayman growing up was listening to the radio comedy Clyro Kid after I had completed my homework in the evening.
We present Jimmy Clyro as the Clyro Kid.
And then in 1980, after joining the staff of the station, I was one of the announcers who played the program on air for our listeners. Happy 50th anniversary, Radio Cayman.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Before we go to our caller, I'm going to bring out my Shedden Road roots here a little bit. The story that I shared with you from the Compass, Cayman Compass, in relation to the lost satchel on the bus, public bus, and the driver who returned it, his name Nigel Hodson. I am not sure, but I'm going back to my Georgetown Shedden Road roots, whether or not he would be a descendant of Miss Kathleen and Mr. Hector Hodson, who lived right there off Shedden Road in the area between Shedden Road and Mary Street, down by, we would say Ansenis, and in that area there, Miss Judy's house, the Hodsons. I think Mr. Hodson originally from Nicaragua, as well. But if you are related to them, if they were alive now, they would be extremely proud of your the actions. And this comes in the face of rumors that we hear, at shopping plazas, shopping centers, where government employees finding purses or stealing purses out of shopping carts and stealing the monies and everything else. This flies in the face of all of that negativity that occurs as well. Let's go to our callers. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hey, good morning, O.C.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Pretty good. O.C., talking about the situation with the roads and with the public buses, you don't have to go far to understand why the buses in Cayman, and it's only just a sheer luck that people hadn't been killed in these buses for the way that they're driving. But let's look at the nationality. Let's be fair this morning. Let's be frank and have an open and honest discussion. Look at the nationalities of who's driving these buses. They're bringing the same mentality that they're bringing from Jamaica to Cayman. And there must be something done with putting a stop to this kind of behavior. Because when you're driving on the road, you're fearful. You're fearful for the way that these bus drivers is driving.
Yep.
And it's like they're unstoppable. But I tell you what, it ain't nothing unstoppable about like pole. So that's the major problem that we have here.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yep.
Then ain't nothing going to be done about it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, O.C.
Thank you very much, caller. We have another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning there, O.C. I know you missed me.
Well, someone was trying to reach you, and I shared your number because I know you wouldn't have minded that as well. And that is how I was able to discover that you were off island. I figured something, when we didn't hear from you, but I know that we have had some, really, really compressed schedules here on For the Record in the mornings, really tight schedules. So, but good to hear your voice. How was the Easter?
Yeah. Nice to hear you again, too. And I just talked to Susan, and she's apparently she was off also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, see, I don't want to get involved in all that negative foolishness because whatever happened or to the days of let's nip it in the bud. This driving and busting and all that we've been talking about this. So see, you're a person who was on the road 24/7. Who every time when you come on your show, you mention the life you say might just be your own.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time you come on, that's how you open your show, and this thing been going on forever, and especially with the buses, everybody's come. Ain't nothing done about it. So whatever happened, but I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the good deed with the person who found the goods, the person that belonged.
Nigel Hodson.
That is Cayman.
Yes.
You see, that is Cayman, and I don't want to pat myself on the back, but because of that, I'm now going to say to I would be like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, maybe, I was launching my boat at Lobster Pot about 7:30, or like 7:45. And I saw an object OC on the ramp when I get out of the car, and I went and pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
Looked in it. It was a wallet with money. I didn't think because I was in a hurry to get to the hotels, and I put it in my gloves compartment. When I came back, I remember it. Went outside in my car after I got home, like around 10:30 about around 9:30 that night, and it had $1,400 in the wallet.
Wow.
1,400 CI. I searched the wallet. No picture, I found a little name in the wallet. I called my son because it kind of brought, it kind of struck me. I think I noticed name and told my son, he said, Daddy, you used to coach him back in the day, but he left the island and went away to school.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's back. He investigated and got a number. And I called him. He said, no, my son directed me where I were. He came. No, he called me. I said, you lost something? Right away, he said, Mr. Graham, don't tell me you find my wallet. I said, yeah, I find a wallet. I don't know if it's yours, but it got your name in it, and it got $1,400, and they bought a plenty of cash. I could go to Miami next week with that. And he turned up him and his girlfriend, and he said they had went on a little sunset cruise in a boat and pulling up the boat, get home, no wallet. He don't got to take the rest of his crew out for a little, celebrate. And it was his birthday, see.
Wow.
His birthday that same day. And he got to take his crew out, his friends out, and he couldn't go again. And he came and I gave him, and he took out money and I told him, no. I don't, no, that's not what I call you for, because if I wanted the money, I could have kept $1,400.
Yep.
And that kid is a professional. Now I think he do valuation and stuff, and often offer to come and value my place and my son plays or whatever. And I haven't even done that to say that I'm still accepting an award from him.
Yes.
I don't want to. Even if I got to do it, I'll go through his office and maybe ask for him to do it to show that I got confidence in him, instead of them sending someone else. But that just came on, and I glad that happened, and that it's have been displayed on your radio, that you can that you could, and I like how you identify the family and coming from just in your area, to show the type of people that we are.
They used to live right next door to the late son of Clark's mother. She, I'm trying to remember her name. We used to call her Aunt Betty. So you had Aunt Betty's house. You had Junior and Skipper. Remember Skipper?
Yeah.
Well, there used to be a road right where Artillery Square is now. Used to go in down into that area there. So you would cross Sandy's house first, and then you go a little further into the right, and you would get to Aunt Betty's house, and then Miss Kathleen and Mr. Hector Hodson's house was there, and then you had Stanwick's mother and grandmother's house on the right hand side. But you had to enter it from you would normally enter it from Shedden Road, even though you could enter from Mary Street, as well.
Right.
So and then of course we have Virginia, who used to work, I think she used to work in the traffic department.
In the
licensing department. And then, of course, we have Rhonda Hodson now, who is works with the fire department as well. I'm assuming that he is related to them. I'm assuming that, but I'll try to find out more, because we really need to give kudos to this, and some sort of tourism recognition award should be given to this young man, because these are the positive stories that help to keep Cayman, on the map in relation to tourism.
Yep. And see that foreign person, that individual, would probably make reference to the fact where they came from, say, boy, if I were back home, I wouldn't have get this back.
Yeah.
So even to, that kind of shine a good light on us by that individual when they go back abroad, wherever they're from, and they tell that story, that will always make us also look good in the eyes of wherever they come from.
Certainly. Lord Graham, thank you. We're going to take our last commercial break. Folks, I believe we still have, how many callers, Ms. Susan? We have one caller still on hold. We will take that caller as soon as we return, so please stay tuned.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Spring forward and save 20% on GE appliances. All throughout the month of April, enjoy 20% savings on GE appliances across a wide range of categories. Washers and dryers, refrigerators, cooking, dishwares, and wine and beverage coolers. Have you been thinking about replacing or upgrading your appliances? Now is the perfect time to shop and save. Take advantage of the GE Appliances Spring Forward sale happening now at Brandosaurus Home Gallery. Enjoy 20% off America's #1 most reliable appliance brand. But don't wait! Offer ends April 30. Visit Brandosaurus at 209 Dorsey Drive Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
Got plant problems? DOA got solutions. The Department of Agriculture is proud to launch its monthly plant clinic, taking place every second Saturday, starting April 11th. Bring your samples and get professional advice on pests, diseases, and overall plant health. Perfect for home gardeners and commercial farmers alike. Visit doa.gov.ky/latest-news to learn more.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning. Before we go to our caller, I do have one message that came in probably about 20 minutes ago. Person wrote, I commend again the quote-unquote covenant concept, for which I have advocated for some years as a long-term method for getting a grip on driving behavior. Briefly, what it involves is that every time a driver acquires or renews a driver's or vehicle license, that driver is required to sign his or her agreement to adhere to all laws and codes of good driving that have been issued. They go on to say this would be a key component of a quote-unquote culture change as compared with only an enforcement issue. So change the culture rather than just addressing it as an enforcement issue. I want to thank that writer for that as well, and we should forward that on to the RCIPS's traffic department as well. Let's go to our caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Miss Osie. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, man, fine is the flower. Listen, what really gets to me, I heard the former minister, Brian, he calling twice. And he talking about this culture in the bus driving. And he mentioned culture. And he went on to use a slang, right? It was on a couple minutes ago, right? And I'm sure the slang that he used did not sound like, man, don't worry, man, I'll get that taken care of. He used the Jamaican slang. Why you just say the Jamaican driver? If it's a Cayman driver, say the Cayman driver. If the Jamaican driver, say Jamaican, if a Caymanian, American, English, Honduras. Just say it. Plain and simple. Just say it. What are we ducking for? What? We scared of something? We scared of ourselves? What are we scared of? No.
But aren't we making an assumption when we say, because it may not be only Jamaican drivers. I'm sure that there are other nationalities out there driving public transport.
No, Mr. Osi, now, don't muddy the water. I did not say just them,
I know.
I said just.
Mm-hmm.
But his accent represented them. Am I right or wrong? Good.
Yep.
Now, Mr. Osi, we have, through the referendum, now, I want to tell me if I'm right or wrong this time. For the referendum, for the marijuana and the gambling, we have a law reform commission.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who is chairing that, sir?
I would have to look it up, but I'm sure that it would be someone from the Attorney General's portfolio.
Good. It's a Jamaican. And if I'm right, I'm right. And if I'm wrong, I'm not a Caymanian. It's a Jamaican because I watched him on the news report. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. One of our listeners just wrote and said, OC, don't let them start with the Jamaican bashing stuff. I'm a local and many of us depend on the bus drivers. Guess what? 1,000 taxi drivers will pass a hotel worker roadside at midnight and not even slow down. But many bus drivers will even give you their cell number to reach them. The public transport unit app is overdue for tracking bus times also. Good point in terms of, and in particular, the bus tracking app, the one that tracks time, that would be extremely encouraged. We can take another caller if you want to. Miss Susan, that was just discussion between me and Miss Susan. She was asking whether or not I was taking any other calls. I was under the assumption that there may have been a caller there, and I said we would. So if you have us on speed dial, you may still be able to get through on For the Record this morning. Meanwhile, this person wrote and said, good morning, Mr. Orrett. I really appreciate hearing the minister on this issue. It's really getting out of hand with the public bus drivers, as he is mentioning. We are really slack on enforcement, and it seems like the CCTV is only used to insurance advantage, not the safety of the public. And they go on to say, amen to Elvis. That's right. The more we hide and tolerate, the worse the people will get. There was an article last week in the Compass, Cayman Compass as well, talking about insurance and the risk that the public is placed at in terms of when a person's insurance is deemed to be invalidated because they fail, the holder failed to comply with the terms and conditions of the policy, leaving then possible victims in a situation where they will probably have to go through civil proceedings to seek any redress for any harm that may have been done to them. Let's look at some more WhatsApp messages coming in. I'll share them with you. The person says, I'm not sure the bus driver, Nigel Hodson, is from Jamaica. The Hodsons you are referring to is Paul Hodson, Sherry Ann, Sherry Lee Hodson. They are different. I went to school with them. Last name is spelled differently. Okay. Let's see how they had it spelled, in the Compass. They had the name spelled Let's find it. This one says Hudson, Nigel Hudson. Okay, Nigel Hudson. Did I just pronounce it wrong, or was it otherwise? So Nigel Hudson. So our caller or writer may be actually correct. So the Hudsons that I'm referring to, and quite familiar with them. I did call some names as well, in terms of the family. But whomever it is, again, we want to say that person obviously was raised with certain morals, certain values, and that was certainly demonstrated in the way that they handled the situation. The question that would be asked also is whether or not the public transport unit has anything in place where when items are left in their vehicles, is there a protocol to be observed in terms of how those items are handled as well? That would be good to know. One more WhatsApp message, because we have 1 minute to go. Good morning, Mr. O.C. I'm asking you to please ask the government to consider putting the same restrictions on ganja smoking being decriminalized as there is on cigarettes in public spaces and buildings. Please, I'm begging for Cayman not to become Halfway Tree and New York streets. Well, I'll try to find the article, but there's additional information that is coming out now in relation to consumption of marijuana and what it does mentally, physically to persons as well. The jury is not out yet in relation, or the jury is still out in relation to the pros and cons of consumption of marijuana and in what form it should be used at as well. And while we may have that public consultation, that referendum, an advisory referendum in relation to it, we should focus on whether or not we want to decriminalize. It doesn't make it legal, but decriminalize certain aspects, of it. If the concern is that convictions may impede persons from traveling, from getting student visas and things of that nature, and to focus solely and limit it to that area and nothing else at this point in time. We do not want to get ahead of our stirrups or ahead of our skis on this one as well. With that, folks, I want to thank all of you who called in, who shared your comments as well, and those of you who had questions that were unanswered by the representatives from the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. We will be forwarding your comments on to them as well. Again, thank you. Don't forget, join Mr. Charles Glidden-Shallow at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We are Radio Cayman,
covering Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
One in a